It was a quiet night at the research lab. Dr. Emily Bennett sat hunched over her desk, her tired eyes scanning through data on her computer screen. The soft hum of the fluorescent lights above her and the occasional click of the keyboard were the only sounds in the room. Outside the window, the city lights glimmered faintly in the distance, unaware of the world-changing discovery that was unfolding within the walls of the lab. Dr. Bennett was no ordinary scientist. As a leading researcher in the field of human biology, she had dedicated her life to unlocking the mysteries hidden within the human genome. Her work had been groundbreaking, but tonight, something felt different. The data she was reviewing seemed like a jigsaw puzzle with pieces that didn't fit, pieces that hinted at a truth no one was ready to accept. Her fingers danced across the keyboard as she pulled up a new file. It was an ancient DNA sample, one that had been buried in a forgotten archive for centuries. She had only just discovered it, and now she was starting to understand why it had been hidden. The sequencing was bizarre. Some of the genes were far beyond anything modern science had ever encountered. It was as though the human genome contained secrets that were never meant to be known. Suddenly, the lab lights flickered, casting shadows that seemed to grow larger with every passing moment. Dr. Bennett paused, her gaze darting to the door. A strange feeling washed over her, one she couldn't quite place. The air seemed to grow heavier, charged with an unseen presence. She brushed it off as fatigue, but something deep inside her knew that this was no ordinary night. Then the sound came, a soft tapping on the window. Dr. Bennett froze. At first, she thought it was just the wind, but the tapping continued, rhythmic and deliberate. It was as if someone, or something, was trying to get her attention. Heart pounding in her chest, she slowly turned her head toward the window. What she saw made her blood run cold. A figure stood outside, bathed in the eerie glow of the streetlights. It was tall, humanoid, but not human. The creature had skin that shimmered in the dim light, a smooth, translucent hue that seemed to shift and change as it moved. Its head was elongated, with large, almond-shaped eyes that glowed an unsettling orange. There were no visible pupils, just those dark, glowing orbs that seemed to pierce through the glass and into her very soul. For a moment, Dr. Bennett couldn't move. Her mind raced, trying to process what she was seeing. Was this some sort of prank? A figment of her imagination? But the creature's eyes, those eyes, were real. Too real. The tapping continued, louder now. It was as though the creature was trying to communicate. Slowly, Dr. Bennett rose from her chair and walked toward the window, her every step feeling like a lifetime. Her fingers hovered over the lock, unsure if she should open it. The creature stood there, waiting patiently, its head slightly tilted to one side, as if it knew she was going to open the window. With trembling hands, she unlocked the window and slid it open. The night air rushed in, cold and fresh, but it did little to calm the fear that was bubbling up inside her. "Can I help you?" Dr. Bennett asked, her voice trembling more than she intended. The creature's lips parted slightly, but no sound came out. Instead, it tilted its head further, as if studying her. Then, in a voice that sent chills down her spine, it spoke. "Human," it said, the word dripping with a strange mix of curiosity and warning. "You are more than you realize." Dr. Bennett blinked, struggling to make sense of the alien's words. "What do you mean?" The creature took a step closer to the window, its eyes never leaving hers. "The truth about your species, it has been hidden for centuries. Your biology, your very existence, is not what it seems." Dr. Bennett's heart raced. The alien was speaking with such certainty, as though it knew something she didn't. "What are you talking about?" "I'm just a scientist. I study biology." The creature's gaze deepened, as if it were searching her very thoughts. "The truth about human biology is more terrifying than you could ever imagine. You have no idea what your species is capable of." The words hung in the air like a weight, pressing down on Dr. Bennett's chest. She didn't know what to say. Part of her wanted to close the window and pretend none of this was happening, but another part of her, An insatiable part that had spent her life seeking the truth wanted to know more. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "What's so terrifying about us?" The creature's lips curled into a slight smile, but it was a smile filled with something dark, something that hinted at a dangerous truth. "You are not just another species. Your biology holds secrets, secrets that could change the course of the galaxy. You are anomalies, but not in the way you think." Dr. Bennett felt a shiver run down her spine. "What kind of secrets? What are you trying to tell me?" The creature took a deep breath, its chest expanding in a way that didn't seem quite natural. "I am here to warn you, Dr. Bennett. Your species, your biology, is evolving faster than you realize. There are forces in the universe that fear you, and they will stop at nothing to ensure that your species does not rise." The words sent a jolt of panic through Dr. Bennett's body. She stumbled back, her mind spinning with questions. "Why are you telling me this? What does this have to do with human biology?" The creature's eyes narrowed slightly. "Because you have uncovered the truth. The truth hidden within your DNA. You and your kind are far more dangerous than you could ever imagine. But I am not the only one who knows. There are others out there watching you." Dr. Bennett's hands clenched into fists. "Why should I believe you? What proof do you have?" The alien stepped back from the window, its expression unreadable. "The proof is in your own genome. The changes you've seen, the anomalies in the DNA. It's all part of a larger plan, a plan that your species will soon awaken to." With those final words, the creature turned and walked away, disappearing into the night. Dr. Bennett stood at the window, her heart pounding in her chest, unsure of what she had just experienced. Was it real? Was this some kind of dream? But deep down, she knew it wasn't. She had uncovered something, something beyond the realm of human understanding. As the night grew darker, she found herself staring at the ancient DNA sample once more. She couldn't shake the feeling that the truth was closer than ever. But now she was afraid of what that truth might mean. Was humanity ready for the knowledge that it was more powerful than it had ever imagined? Or would this discovery bring about their downfall? The answer, she knew, was hidden in the shadows of their biology. A shadow that was just beginning to emerge. Dr. Emily couldn't sleep that night. She lay in bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. The alien's voice echoed in her mind again and again. "You and your kind are far more dangerous than you could ever imagine." The word sent a chill down her spine. Was it a warning? A threat? Or was it something else? Something deeper? As the sky turned gray with the early light of dawn, Emily rose from bed and returned to her lab. She didn't want coffee. She didn't want food. She wanted answers. She opened the computer and pulled up the ancient DNA file again, the same one that had led the alien to her window. As her fingers typed commands, line after line of strange genetic code appeared on the screen. She had looked at this code before, but now she saw it with new eyes. And then it hit her. These weren't just random mutations or ancient errors in the genome. These were patterns, patterns that didn't match anything in known biology. It was as if someone, or something, had designed this part of human DNA. But why? And how? Emily zoomed in further. Her heart skipped a beat. There were sequences hidden within the DNA, sequences that didn't behave like anything natural. They reacted to external energy, like radiation or electromagnetic fields. And stranger still, these sequences activated when certain environmental conditions were met. Stress, heat, fear, even adrenaline. Emily sat back in shock. Could it be true? Could there really be a hidden system in the human body that only activates in extreme conditions? A biological switch that gives humans strange abilities when they are in danger? Suddenly, memories flashed through her mind. Stories of people lifting cars to save their children, surviving falls from great heights, healing from injuries faster than expected. She had always dismissed them as exaggerations or luck. But what if they weren't? What if the truth was far more shocking than any scientist dared to believe? Later that day, Emily received a message from a secure, unknown source. It was a simple text. "Come to Lab 7. Alone." She knew that room. It was in the old section of the research facility, abandoned for years. Her hands trembled as she made her way there. The hallway was dark and cold. The door to Lab 7 creaked open with a groan, and inside stood the same alien from the night before. It was waiting for her. "You came," it said, its voice deep and steady. "I need answers," Emily replied. "What's happening to us? Why does human DNA have these hidden parts?" The alien walked slowly toward her. "Because you were made to adapt. You were made to survive. Your biology was built not just to live, but to dominate." Emily shook her head. "Are you saying we were designed?" "Not by us," the alien said. "By something older. A race long gone. We call them the architects." She stared at him, confused. "But why? Why would they do that?" "No one knows," the alien replied. "But they left traces across the galaxy. You are one of those traces. The most dangerous one." Emily's mind reeled. "You said we were dangerous. Why?" The alien looked at her, his glowing orange eyes full of something she didn't expect. "Fear. Because no other species evolves like you do. No other species gets stronger through pain. You adapt faster when you suffer. You become smarter when you're pushed. You grow when you're broken." Emily whispered, "So we're a weapon?" The alien nodded slowly. "Yes, a living weapon. But the scariest part is, even you don't know it yet." The alien moved toward the wall and tapped a device on his wrist. A hologram appeared, showing other humans, across the world, across time, exhibiting strange behaviors. A man who survived radiation levels that should have killed him. A woman who learned a new language fluently in just 1 hour after a head injury. A child who could see in complete darkness after being lost in a cave for 3 days. "Your kind," the alien said, "changes when faced with death. It is not evolution. It is something else. A design. A defense system. One that adapts in real time." Emily's voice trembled. "But that's impossible." "It is not impossible. It is you." The alien turned off the hologram and looked at her again. "And now the others are watching. The Council of Species, the ones who rule this part of the galaxy. They are afraid. Afraid that one day humans will awaken fully and become something unstoppable." Emily's heart pounded in her chest. "So what now? Are they going to attack us?" "They want to," the alien said, "but they are divided. Some believe you should be destroyed before it's too late. Others believe you should be protected, nurtured." "And you?" she asked. "I believe the truth should be yours," he said simply. "That's why I came." Emily sat in silence. Her entire understanding of human biology had just been turned upside down. Everything she had learned, everything science had taught, was just the surface of a much deeper truth. Humans were not weak. They were not slow. They were not average. They were asleep. And now, they were beginning to wake up. She looked at the alien. "Why me? Why tell me?" "Because you are close," he said. "You found the code. And more importantly, you are not afraid of it." He stepped back, preparing to leave. "Others will come, Dr. Bennett. Be ready." And just like that, he vanished, leaving no trace behind. For the next week, Emily worked day and night, digging deeper into the DNA patterns. She began testing samples under extreme conditions. What she found was both amazing and terrifying. Certain genes activated under fear. Others responded to heat, cold, even emotional stress. And in one experiment, she saw a cell heal itself completely in seconds after being damaged. These weren't mutations. They were instructions, waiting to be used. She realized something else, too. The ancient DNA she had been studying. It wasn't ancient. It was human. but a kind of human the world had never seen before. A prototype. A blueprint for what humanity could become. She uploaded her findings to a secure drive. If anything happened to her, the world needed to know the truth. On the 7th day, something strange happened. Her computer shut down. The lights went out. And from the hallway, she heard voices, multiple, cold, robotic voices. "We must stop the awakening," one of them said. Emily backed away from her desk, heart racing. They had come, but she wasn't afraid. She looked at her hand. A tiny cut she had received an hour ago was already gone. No scar, no mark. She felt stronger than she had ever felt in her life. The alien had been right. Humanity was waking up, and no one, not even the stars, was ready for what came next. Dr. Emily Bennett was no longer the same person she was a week ago. Ever since the mysterious alien visited her and revealed the hidden secrets of human biology, her world had changed. The truth was no longer buried in ancient DNA. It was alive, inside her, inside everyone. She had learned that humanity wasn't just evolving, it was awakening. Their bodies were made to adapt under pressure, to grow stronger when broken, and to survive when all logic said they shouldn't. But now, something else was happening. The lights in her lab had gone out. Her computer had shut down. She had heard voices, strange, emotionless voices speaking in the hallway outside. "We must stop the awakening." Dr. Emily grabbed the encrypted data drive from her desk and hid it in her coat pocket. She didn't know who those voices belonged to, but she knew one thing. Someone, or something, was trying to stop her from sharing the truth. She moved quietly through the dark hallway, heart pounding in her chest. Her footsteps were soft, careful. At every corner, she stopped and listened. Then, from the shadows, a figure appeared. It was tall, silent, and glowing slightly. But it wasn't the alien from before. This one was different. More metallic, more machine than life. Its eyes flashed red when it saw her. "Dr. Emily Bennett," it said in a robotic voice. "You have been warned." Emily turned and ran. Down the hallway, through the emergency exit, and out into the freezing night. The cold air burned her lungs, but she didn't stop. She didn't look back. She had to find him. The first alien, the one who told her the truth. He had said others would come, that she should be ready. Now she needed him more than ever. Emily knew where to go. There was an abandoned observatory outside the city. It was old, falling apart, and completely disconnected from the grid. No internet, no power, no security. Perfect for hiding. She arrived just before dawn. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting golden light across the hills. She pushed open the rusted door and stepped inside. Dust swirled in the air. Broken furniture lay scattered across the floor. And then she saw him. The alien was waiting. "You were followed," he said. Emily dropped to her knees, exhausted. "They tried to stop me. I heard them. Machines. They knew everything. They called it the awakening." The alien nodded slowly. "The machines are part of the council. Not all species agreed on what to do with your kind. Some wanted to observe. Some wanted to help. But others fear you deeply." Emily looked at him, her eyes full of questions. "Why? Why are they so afraid of us?" The alien stepped forward, his eyes glowing softer now. "Because humans are unpredictable. You evolve during war. You grow stronger during chaos. Most species take thousands of years to change, but your kind can change in a single lifetime." He paused, then added, "You're not just alive. You're becoming something new, something the galaxy has never seen." Emily whispered, "So you came to help us?" The alien lowered his head. "That's what I told you. But that's not the whole truth." Silence fell between them. Emily felt her heart skip a beat. "What do you mean?" she asked slowly. The alien hesitated. For the first time, he looked human. Not in form, but in emotion. like he was carrying a burden too heavy to speak of. "I wasn't sent to warn you," he said. "I was sent to stop you." Emily stared at him, shocked. "What?" "I was supposed to erase all traces of the DNA, destroy your research, make sure no one ever discovered the truth." His voice grew quieter. "But when I saw you, when I saw how curious you were, how fearless, I couldn't do it." Emily backed away slightly. "So all this time, you've been lying?" "No," he said quickly. "Not lying. Hiding the full story. I was told to stop you, but I chose to help you, because now I believe in something else." She folded her arms, confused. "What do you believe in?" The alien stepped closer. "I believe you are not a threat. I believe you are a hope." He raised his hand, and a small device projected a glowing star map. He pointed to dozens of red dots scattered across the galaxy. "These are species that have already fallen. Wars, disease, extinction. Their biology couldn't adapt. Their minds couldn't grow fast enough." He looked at her. "But humans are the only ones who could survive what's coming." Emily felt a cold knot form in her chest. What's coming? The alien turned off the map. A great extinction. A wave of destruction moving across galaxies. It consumes worlds, technology, even entire suns. No one knows where it came from, but it's coming fast. He looked at her with calm intensity. "And the Council knows that humans might be the only species that can fight it, but they are too afraid to take the risk." Emily whispered, "So you're trying to give us a chance?" He nodded. "Yes, I believe the architects made your species for a reason. Not to destroy, but to protect." Emily sat down, overwhelmed by the truth. Her mind swirled with fear and hope, confusion and clarity. "Then help me," she said softly. "Help me prepare humanity. Help me unlock our biology before it's too late." The alien hesitated again. "There's more." She looked up. "You are already changing, Emily. The DNA inside you has responded to the truth. The moment you understood it, it began to unlock. You are becoming what your kind was always meant to be." Emily looked at her hands. They didn't feel different, but deep down, she knew something inside her had shifted. "Then let's finish what we started." For the next 3 days, they worked in secret inside the observatory. The alien taught her how to read the ancient codes in human DNA. He showed her the patterns left by the architects, hidden in every human cell. They ran tests, simulations, and even practiced controlled exposure to extreme stress, watching how Emily's biology adapted and strengthened in real time. She learned how to control her breathing, how to access deeper brain functions, and even how to activate genes thought to be dormant. She wasn't becoming superhuman. She was becoming fully human, as the architects had once intended. And then, on the 4th night, the machines came again. The sky turned red. Drones circled the observatory. Voices echoed through loudspeakers. "Dr. Emily Bennett, surrender the data. You are in violation of Intergalactic Code 447. Unauthorized evolution." Emily and the alien stood side by side. "They found us," he said. Emily clenched the drive in her fist. "Then let them come." As the machines approached, Emily felt her body react. Her heart beat faster, but she was calm. Her vision sharpened. Her mind cleared. She wasn't afraid anymore. The awakening was no longer a theory. It was real. The machines stormed the observatory. Emily and the alien fought to escape, using hidden tunnels and defense systems. But the enemy was strong, and they were running out of time. At the last moment, Emily uploaded her research to a hidden satellite orbiting Earth. She encrypted the file and set it to release when humanity was ready. The alien helped her escape, but in doing so, he was injured. As they hid among the trees, he looked at her, his body weak. "You must continue," he said. "You are the key." Emily held his hand, tears in her eyes. "You believed in us, even when others didn't." He smiled softly. "Because I saw your future, and it gave me hope." With those final words, he faded into the night sky, his body returning to stardust. Emily stood alone now, but stronger than ever. The truth was inside her, and soon it would be inside all of humanity. The galaxy had feared them, but one day it would need them, because humans were not just survivors. They were the answer. Dr. Emily Bennett stood at the edge of the forest, staring at the sky. It had been 3 days since the alien gave his life to protect her. His body was gone, vanished into light, but his final words stayed with her like a whisper in her soul. "You are the key." The world still didn't know the truth. Not yet, but she did, and it was her responsibility to carry it forward. In her coat pocket was the encrypted drive containing the hidden secrets of human biology, everything the alien had taught her, everything she had learned, everything the galaxy feared. She had sent a copy to a secret satellite before the attack, but the original, that was still with her. She wasn't just carrying data. She was carrying humanity's future. Emily made her way back to the city under the cover of night. She couldn't risk being seen. The machines were still searching. The council still wanted her silenced. But she wasn't running anymore. She was planning. She reached out to the only people she could trust, former students, underground researchers, and a few brave minds who believed in the idea that humans were more than they appeared. They gathered in an old university basement. No phones, no internet, just brains, paper, and quiet courage. Emily placed the drive on the table. "This," she said, "is who we really are." The room went silent. And so, she began to teach. Over the next few weeks, the group studied the hidden patterns in the human genome. They tested theories, ran simulations, and started seeing results that shocked even the most skeptical minds. Under extreme conditions, ordinary people began showing signs of heightened senses, faster healing, and mental clarity that bordered on genius. These weren't superpowers. These were biological systems that had always been there, dormant, waiting. One woman with chronic illness stood up without pain for the first time in years after an emotional breakthrough. A boy with learning difficulties solved complex logic puzzles overnight after targeted breathing techniques activated the right neural sequences. An old man's hearing returned after deep meditation unlocked blocked genetic pathways. It wasn't magic. It was the awakening. But change brings fear. The world outside remained the same, busy, distracted, unaware. And slowly, rumors began to spread. A shadowy group was said to be experimenting with human evolution. A secret movement, hidden in the cracks of society, was rising. The council heard the whispers too, and they were not happy. One night, as Emily reviewed new data, a message appeared on her screen. Not from Earth, not from any known system. It simply said, "Stop now, or Earth will burn." Her hands trembled. The council was serious. They were afraid, but they were also ready to act. Emily looked around the room. Her small team was growing. Dozens of people now believed in the truth. Some had seen the changes in themselves. Others had felt something deep inside, something ancient, begin to stir. She couldn't stop now. Not when they were so close. Not when humanity was finally waking up. So she made a decision. She gathered the group and told them the full story. About the alien, the council, the awakening, and the threat to Earth. Some were scared. Some wanted to run. But most stood with her. Because deep inside, they knew this wasn't just science. This was destiny. They began working faster, teaching others in secret, helping more people unlock their dormant gifts. It spread like quiet fire through society. Nurses, teachers, athletes, musicians, ordinary people began feeling it. Not all could explain it. Most didn't talk about it, but they felt it. Pain didn't last as long. Fear didn't control them. Hope returned in places that had forgotten what it felt like. Humanity was changing, and the galaxy was watching. Then, one night, it happened. A ship appeared over Earth. Not a fleet, not an army. Just one ship. Large, silent, shimmering in orbit like a moon made of silver light. Emily and her team watched on old satellite feeds. The news called it a mystery object. But Emily knew better. It was a test. Would Earth panic? Would they attack? Would they try to communicate? The governments of the world scrambled. Jets were launched. Warnings were issued. But the ship didn't move. It didn't threaten. It simply watched. And then it sent a message, visible only to Emily and those like her. The time has come. Will you rise or fall? Emily stepped forward. She didn't have weapons. She didn't have a title. But she had the truth. And now, she had a voice. Using the encrypted system left by the alien, she sent a message directly to the ship. It was short, but powerful. We are awake, and we choose to rise. For a long time, nothing happened. Then the ship slowly turned, its silver light pulsing with what looked like respect. And it left. Just like that. No invasion. No war. Only silence. And hope. The world was different after that. People asked questions. People wondered. But Emily didn't reveal everything. Not yet. The truth had to grow in the hearts of people, not be forced into them. So she waited. She kept teaching. Quietly. Patiently. The changes continued. Faster. Stronger. Deeper. Not just physical. Emotional. Spiritual. The human race began to feel something they hadn't felt in centuries. Purpose. Not to destroy. Not to conquer. But to become. To become the species the architects had designed long ago. Not just survivors of their world, but guardians of the galaxy. Years passed, and one day a child was born. He had strange eyes, clear and deep, like mirrors to the stars. His body healed quickly. He spoke full sentences before he could walk. Emily held him in her arms and smiled. He was the first of the next generation. Not a weapon. Not a monster. But hope in human form. The revelation was no longer hidden. It was here. Living. Breathing. And one day, when the galaxy came again, they would see not a planet of fear, but a world of light. Because humanity had awakened, and they were ready.